Hi, welcome back to a brand new video of the Target Individual Program, Target Experience. Okay, all right, so let me expose uh, again uh, me studying, observing what it is that they're doing and how they give you or try to condition you with a false sense of power by just engaging in very small manipulative things that they do. So, for example, I talk about how they hack into my headphones, my earbuds. Whenever I put my earbuds on, it'll say power on. They'll use the sirens. Every time it says power on or connected, they use the sirens. Or pairing, they use the sirens. This is every single time. Okay? They will also use the call horn as if it's another entity, or I said another entity meaning another uh, side, right? Who is trying to give you this false impression that you have some sort of power, but you don't. I keep saying, regardless of what they will condition your mind to believe, please understand that you need to know, not believe. So even if you find yourself thinking of certain things, um, remember their purpose, one of their programming method, is to give you a false sense of power, right? A false sense of confidence, right? So that way they can take away that confidence at any moment, at any time. But if you build within yourself your own self confidence, right, not based off of what subliminal message they try to tell you, what have you, right? And a lot of times how they try to do that with me is send me subliminal message about, oh, we're gonna take away your disability. When I get my disability every month, then it's like, oh, we saved you. So they didn't take away your disability. We stepped in and we saved you, right? You know what I'm saying? That sort of thing. Because the trick of the oppressor, the trick of the manipulator, is to make you believe that they have saved you from imminent danger or from losing something, right? Remember, this is two sides of the same coin. Always remember that. When you look at the CIA mind control program, their brainwashing programs, and how they engage in blackmail, how they engage in honey trapping, how they engage in the dismantling of civil rights groups, how they engage in manipulating civil rights leaders, destroying civil rights leaders, whether it be through assassination, whether it be through drugs, whether it be through women, whether it be through character assassination, all these things. It's the same thing. What they have done, again, is create cults within the society, but people don't understand that it is the U.S. government, it is the CIA, the Department of Defense, that are controlling these groups, right? Talk about indirect rulership. You go read the book, like I showed you. Did I show you that book, The Golden Stool, right? By Ewan Smith, Ewan E. Smith, M. Smith, something like that. And if you read it, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I think I have showed you guys, I've read to you guys the part of the book where it talks about indirect rule, right? So the perps who are engaging in cognitive warfare, psychological warfare, covert warfare against us, they have them believing that it's God and this and that, right? Because again, using the church, using their religious belief system against them, right, and manipulating them, right? And they know the truth. Again, you can go and you can find a declassified document of the CIA planting agents in Africa to study African spiritual system. So they understand and they are expert at all of these cultures across the world because they've studied these cultures. They study their practices. They've used professional archaeologists, they have them on their payroll, right, to study each culture, to study their belief system, what have you, in order to manipulate them in the way that they want to manipulate them. And particularly since we're so much believers as opposed to people who know things, so when I talk about the silent sound, radio wave, microwave frequency, pulse modulated microwave frequency, and microchip, and we tend to like, oh, that's not possible, this and that, even though we know from looking at these and reading these news story, right, about these things happening. Okay, and I remember I talk about this. Always remember, always know that whatever you see they bring out in the public sector, the our government, our CIA, our Department of Defense, they're at least a DARPA, they're at least a decade to 2 decades ahead of the private sector. Okay, that's a huge gap, right? So you need to understand this. And like I said, we as TIs, we are the evidence of their crimes, right? We are the evidence, and they have to silence us. They have to do things in order to discredit us, so that people won't believe us. They have to engage in covert warfare against us, so that if we come out and expose what's being done, then they can try to that kind of put you like in a catch-22, just like what they do to these perps out there, right? Creating a criminal mindset within the religious cult members, but they don't understand that what they're doing is criminal. They don't understand how they're being used and manipulated, right? Using their religion against them. Okay? And again, if you study your religion, like I said before, study your religion, you will understand where it comes from. But too much of us, particularly black people, we're too afraid because we've been conditioned through religious cultural practices passed down, and belief system passed down. I wouldn't even say religious practices, but religious belief system passed down to us of our soul burning, and particularly our women. Particularly our women, they're the most gullible when it comes to believing in religion, but not actually practicing what they claim to believe in, right? So again, this is why you see black women today, right? The vast majority of them, they're contradictory, they're very hypocritical. You can't tell them what to do, right? Because they say that they want a God-fearing man, but they're not God-fearing women. Because in God-fearing women, it'll tell you, right? You don't have children out of wedlock, right? You're not supposed to be preaching in the church, right? The man is the head, then you, then the child. But God is above everyone. But what they do, they say God. No, they not even God. They say themselves, God, the child, and the man is last. That is their hierarchy. Themselves, God, the child, and then the man. That's the black female mindset, particularly the ones who call themselves God-fearing and they're Christians, right? That is their mindset, okay? And they have been conditioned that way. They have been conditioned that way. I keep saying that black women are the creators of the black nation. They're the mothers of the black nation, right? They're the nurturers of the black nation. They are the teachers of the black nation, right? Now, if you remove that ideology and that mindset from generation and generation of black women, what you will get is what the white liberals have been doing. You will get women who they will say, we are the backbone of the black community, right? So we want all the praises of everything that goes right, but we want none of the responsibility and accountability when certain things goes wrong. Now you can shift that blame to the men. So the men cannot get the praise for being the backbone of the black community, which again, in all other communities, it is the men who are the backbone of their community, where the woman is the backbone, they are the matriarch of the family. You understand? So other communities, other groups of people understand that, okay? They understand that very well, particularly when it comes to living in a patriotic society, right? So again, you see these women who want all the praises, but none of the accountability. So when they say they want a God-fearing man, they want a God-fearing man because they want a man to treat them as how they think patriotic, not patriotic, but patriarchy, men who believe in the patriarchy would treat them. What I'm talking about is financially supportive, right? Emotionally supportive, okay? Fund their lifestyle, fund their business ventures. That's the only type of patriarchy they want. But when it comes to the respect given to a man, they don't want to do that. When it comes to the support given to men, they don't want to do that. When it comes to raising the children and teaching the children, they don't want to do that. when it comes to having self-respect for themselves in terms of listening to the men, not engaging in certain activities, they don't want to do that, right? So again, the hierarchy of the religious Negropean females, right, the so-called Christian Negropean females, is themselves, God and Jesus, which is one and the same, the children, and then the man. All right? So we need to understand that. And again, this is not their fault. This is the fault of white supremacists and the Sambos and Sambinas on the pulpit, including the Sambos and Sambinas on the police force who are religious, because money is their God. And who give them the most money? It is women. And when women have families with husbands or boyfriends and they're living together, right? They tend to do what? They tend to be more family oriented. They tend to spend less money on consumer items for beauty, luxury, all this other stuff, because you're thinking about the children. All right? But what white racist corporations have done is to rearrange their hierarchy in the minds of women, particularly black women, right, to where they don't want to be family oriented because they want to go on trips. They want to go on girl trips. They want to buy red bottoms, right? They want to take out loans to buy, bag costs $2,000, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, back in my days, I buy a girl a bag cost $250. She was excited. She was happy. Not anymore. Not anymore. I keep saying I'm sorry for my young brothers, black brothers out there, because, man, if you guys don't get into the STEM program, you will never be able to afford these women. And then guess what? They wouldn't want you, right, when you're young. Right? They wouldn't want you because they'll tell you that you a nerd, you lame, you this and that. Listen, I was in that bad boy phase era, but at least I had a mind. And I had the ability to think. Not only was I a Negropean, but I was also able to think, or able to question things. So I wasn't totally a bad boy. I wasn't totally what they would consider to be, a nerd. Kind of in the middle, right? All right. So like I was saying, right, kind of in the middle. But here's the thing, right? My brother and I were twins. We always had that idea that we want to create our own business, because the industry we was in, the print industry was in, we realized how racist it is, right? How unfair we were being treated in terms of pay. But we were working late. We used to see white people, white dudes, fuck up a job and cost the company, tens of thousands of dollars, right? But if something goes wrong and you cost the company $100, they're ready to fire you. Like, you're supposed to be perfect, right? You're supposed to fix the machines, right? That they will call a technician to come in and fix before you got there. But because they see that, you have some intellect and you may be a little bit more technical, right? You got to fix this, fix that, fix that, fix this, right? This is the mindset, is to, again, understanding that. And so I think that was a big part of the reason why me and my brother was targeted first. And then they were targeting me, but I didn't even know it. So when I talk about these things, I understand where I'm coming from, right? So when I, again, and then, trying to sway me away from a certain type of thinking, right? From a more militant way of thinking, from a more black way of thinking, meaning having a black African mindset, right? Instead of this European mindset. Because I'm telling you, it's always interesting how, white people, they don't want to give you a raise, right? But when some shit pop off with someone trying to harm them, they'll call you to come and save their ass, right? You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't give you a raise. They would rather hire someone and pay them twice as much, right, and fire you because they don't want to give you a raise. That was the mindset we have to deal with some of these businesses, right? So again, I understand. Look, again, but I never really truly understand how racist people can be, particularly white people, because my mom never told me these things. She never told us about these things. My mother's very religious, love everybody, be kind, be nice. And I realized that it is stop teaching your children to be nice. Teach them to be good. Stop teaching your children to be kind to everybody. Teach them to be kind to those who are kind to them. Teach them to be respectful to those who are respectful to them. Teach them to love the people who love them. Okay? Because we are sending our children, young men and women out there in a world with wolves that are going to eat them alive. Okay? And the church, like I said, we must hold the church responsible. We must hold the church responsible because, like I said, the church would rather see us, the black population in America, right, struggling because they think that it's totally fine for us to suffer because Christ suffered for them. Christ didn't suffer for you. Okay, Christ is a fictional character in a fictional book. All right? So they would rather see us have high rates of infant mortality, high rates of STDs. Half the population of people who contracted HIV between 2022 and 2023 were black people. Right? The church don't care about preventing that. They care about the fact that because when you get that news, you're going to be so depressed that they're going to come to you and they're going to say, you need to give your life to Christ. That's what they're going to say to you. Right? They are conditioned, they are weaponized against you, my people. They are weaponized against you, and you need to wake the hell up and understand what it is that they're doing. And any one of us who have a good heart and good nature and good intent, if you're not Christian, they're going to destroy you. And white people are going to destroy you if the fact that they understand that you have that mindset that you want to build something for black people, to benefit black people. They don't want that. It is in their history that tells you that every time black people elevate economically, what do? They lie, they conspire to destroy. It is in their DNA, their core DNA. Just as how I talk about epigenetics, how certain traits are passed down, trauma passed down through genetics. Well, their racist belief system and their propensity for violence against us has been passed down into their DNA. Okay? Make no mistakes about it. It isn't just the ideological mindset, right? It is in their DNA. Okay? Their racism has embedded itself in their DNA. All right? So I'll talk to you guys in the next video.